Yo guys, what is up? It's John. Today we're going to be talking about the Flaming Gunner build for Deep Rock Galactic. So the first thing we're going to get into are some of the weapons and overclocks that you're going to need and be using in this build. So first off, you're going to be using the Leadstorm powered minigun. For the Leadstorm powered minigun in the tier 1 upgrade slot, you're going to be wanting to use the magnetic refrigeration upgrade. This is going to increase the cooling rate and make it so the cooldowns beginning as soon as you stop shooting. This is great for this build. In tier 2, we're going to use high velocity rounds. The extra 600 ammo, if you find yourself running out of ammo frequently, which could happen on different mission types and such, depending on the modifiers, there could be more enemies or the enemies just taking more damage, such and such. You might want to take that. This is kind of a preference thing, but to me, I like high velocity rounds for the extra 2 damage. The other thing is, if you're killing enemies quicker, then theoretically you're going through ammo a lot slower. So if you think about it that way. And then in tier 3, you can either go with hardened rounds or blow through rounds. Hardened rounds are great for the Glyphid Grunts with armor because a lot of the times they're going to be getting up in your face when you're playing Gunner, and they're just right in your face, and you don't have a lot of maneuverability to be able to get around them and deal damage to the other points on their body. So I love hardened rounds on the Gunner. It's also great to have blow through rounds, so that way you can deal a lot of damage through the real hordes of enemies when they're coming at you in a big wave. So that's great. I really love that. Then in tier 4, I like lighter barrel assembly. Now, you could also use the magnetic bearings, but to me, I think that lighter barrel assembly is better just to be able to start, obviously, killing things shorter with a shorter span of time. So that's great. And then for tier 5, we're obviously going to be going with hot bullets. So rounds fired when the heat meter is red will burn the target. That is amazing, and it's going to be another way that we apply flames to our enemies, and it's going to help us a lot when it comes to our secondary that I'm going to talk about next. The overclock that you're going to want is Burning Hell. Burn everything in front of your gun, except the weapon will overheat quicker. The thing that's going to offset the weapon overheating faster really is just going to be the tier 1 upgrade that we have. That's going to make it so that when we fire the weapon, it's going to cool down a lot quicker. So really your goal is to be shooting it a lot and then letting the weapon just kind of cool down progressively, and really just doing damage in a lot of bursts and knowing your limits, so to speak, with the minigun. The secondary that you're going to be using is going to be the Bulldog Heavy Revolver. With the Bulldog Heavy Revolver in tier 1, we're going to go with perfect weight balance. This is going to make you a little bit more accurate. In tier 2, we want increased caliber rounds, giving us more damage, 10 to be specific. In tier 3, we want the hollow point bullets for the weak spot damage. Tier 4, high velocity rounds, and in tier 5, we want Deadeye for the no aim penalty while moving. This is amazing when you're trying to maneuver around a Praetorian by jumping or anything like that. It's going to allow you to, instead of jumping and standing still for that, accuracy bonus, you can just jump and shoot them way more accurately. You're going to do a lot more damage. And then finally, for the overclock, you're going to want volatile bullets. Deal massive fire damage to burning targets while doing significantly less direct damage. Now, I know what you're thinking, significantly less direct damage, that just sucks. Well, it does suck if the enemy isn't on fire, but the point is, we're going to be lighting things ablaze with this build. We're not just going to be shooting enemies when they're not on fire. This is going to be something that you're going to be using very frequently whenever you are doing damage to the bigger enemies in the game, and you're really going to be able to see and tell that there is a lot of damage to be dealt here. To be specific, from the weak point bonus that we're getting from the hollow point upgrade, we're getting 60% damage upgrade with that, and then the damage versus bonus for the overclock is 300%. So adding those together, you're getting 360% bonus damage on top of the base damage of 70. It is huge, the damage you're going to be doing with this build once the enemies are lit on fire. Then obviously for the grenade, we're going to have to go with Incendiary Grenade. There's really no question in going for the other grenades. I know that I would have liked to have made, another grenade video or a build utilizing the newest grenade in the game for the Gunner. I love that grenade, but I think we're all kind of probably sick and worn out of that by now. I think all the content creators for Deep Rock have uploaded, here's my tier list, here's what I think of this, and here's a video showcasing the grenade. We've seen it enough, alright? So we're going to go with the build here that has nothing to do with a new grenade or a new weapon. This is all oldie but goldies. You're looking with the revolver, you're looking with the minigun, you're looking with an instant grenade. These are all things in the base game. They've been here for a long time and they're here to stay. For perks, we're going to go with Friendly. So obviously you're going to be able to take and deal 50% less damage when it comes to friendly fire. So with the Driller's new grenade, you don't have to worry about him killing you as quickly. Yeah, that's great. Then we're going to go with Elemental Insulation. This is kind of a perk that I personally think is good here. It's going to allow you to take a little bit less fire damage from your own source, aka the incinerator grenade, and it's good on some maps like glacial, magma, you know, things like that, just reducing a little bit more damage from some of the Praetorians that breathe frost or what have you onto your being. Or radioactive exclusion zone is great there. So, and then the third one we're going to go with resupplier, which is probably going to be on every single build just because it's such an amazing perk. And then with the active perks, we're going to go with field medic. The passive of reviving people 30% faster is incredibly good on the gunner because I don't know why he's called a gunner sometimes, because he feels more like the literal field medic. Then your active is you can instantly res people, one time per mission obviously. Great active, just amazing perk overall. If you can have the chance to fully upgrade this, do it immediately. And then we want to go with Iron Will because unfortunately right now in Deep Rock Galactic, the perk meta is like really kind of set in stone. I think that there's really only 3, maybe 4 active perks that are even usable. And Iron Will is going to be one that is going to be on every single build that you need to take. I think that for Hazard 5 play or deep dives, you have to have Iron Will. I think that every single player should have Iron Will. At some point, if you're a newer player, at least unlock the perk and then go from there. So yeah, guys, that's going to be it for the build itself. Let's get into the gameplay and meat and potatoes. So here's the deal, guys. You've been watching the gameplay and you might be wondering to yourself, why is there damage text? Now, damage text is from a mod that I have installed currently, and I will go over some mods for Deep Rock Galactic for those of you who are interested in how to download them and what's approved, what's verified, what's sandbox, and what's the difference between all of them. But basically, a short rundown is this. If it's verified or if it's approved on drg.imod.io, I believe it is, then that means that you can play the game and it's not going to affect your progression at all, meaning that I can still level up, I can still earn gold, you know, etc. And other people can still join me, and they can only have mods that are approved or verified. These are mods that aren't going to affect things that are crazy about the game. They're not going to allow you to exploit the game or anything like that, and they've been approved by the developers. Ghost ship. So just wanted to get that out of the way, and I really wanted to turn on damage text to showcase obviously the damage that this build can pump out, because that's kind of the main factor about this build, is that it really can pump out a lot of damage. I mean, with the revolver, you're seeing a lot of shots that are doing just big boom meaty powers. Meaty damage to some of the enemies that are getting shot. I mean, like the nanocyte breeder was just getting chunked by this thing. So it's definitely a really crazy strong build. And then when you couple that with the weak spot damage, it's doing a lot of damage to these glyphids. So one of the main things I wanted to point out was also that I really like to get up in the face of the glyphids instead of backpedaling, because normally you want to go away from the enemy and separate yourself from them so they don't have a lot of time to hit you. With this gunner build, you want to be in their face so that you can actually ignite them on fire because of that overclock we have on the Leadstorm minigun. We're going to be able to create kind of a flamethrower effect in front of ourselves. We're igniting enemies very quickly, and the heat generation is extremely high, meaning that we can ignite really big enemies who normally have higher resistances and tolerances to being lit on fire very quickly. Another thing that is kind of not mentioned is that on glacial strata and on magma core respectively, they have resistances or weaknesses to elements. So on magma core, they're actually weak to cryo, and on glacial, they're obviously weak to fire. So here, this is also coupled. I was just doing this mission because it was a part of my core hunt, I believe. So kind of just regular progression, but I thought, oh, well, it's a good time to try out the Flame Gunner. And this is a build that I've been using for a really long time, and I've always enjoyed switching to it. It's a great way to play the game. Great way to have a lot of fun on Gunner. So it's pretty basic in the way that you're going to be playing. You're going to be igniting all the enemies on fire, playing with your distance really well, and then when the big guys come around, you're going to swap to your secondary after they've been lit on fire. And then always save your instant grenades for these huge swaths of enemies. Some basic tips, generally speaking, just for the gunner is whenever you have an objective like the meteorite, you're going to see me through this gameplay, I shield the objective to make sure the glyphids don't attack it too much, or if you have a Mactera, I didn't do it this time in the gameplay, but you will see. I'm not going to cut up the gameplay too much, by the way, but you will see that there's like a huge Mactera swarm. If that happens, please shield your team. They will save. They will be saved, and they'll really thank you. And they'll be like, you're a great guy. I didn't do that. I just fucking zipped by like an asshole. But I'm not going to cut up this gameplay that much because I want to leave it all out there and let it kind of speak for itself. All the downs, all the things, whatever, what have you. See how bad I am, see how great I am. I don't know. If you guys like that format a little bit more, let me know in the comments below. I also want to mention, thank you guys for 50 subscribers. That is huge. That is everything that I asked for. Our next goal is probably going to be 100. Obviously, I'm not going to be shooting for 100 by Christmas because that'd be crazy. but we're going to shoot for 100. No time frame on that just yet, just because I don't know what kind of videos I want to be pumping out right now. As I kind of mentioned earlier, I don't want to upload the same exact videos that everybody else is doing. I know everybody's doing videos about, oh, how the season, what they think, the new grenades, the tier lists, and I just kind of am like, I don't like making the same videos as everybody else. I know I've got tier lists on my channel. The tier lists that I've made were usually when the game was brand new or like a new update or something like that. I usually try to cover things when they're newer and they're fresh on people's minds and what they're interested in topically. But right now in Deep Rock Galactic, there's not, like, you guys kind of already know what people think of the Season 3. If you want to know my opinions on Season 3, I'd definitely make a video of it. But I kind of feel like it's a good season. I mean, it's not crazy, like, blowing my mind out of, you know, as far as the expectations, but it's good. You know, it's great. It's kind of what I expected. I'm a little disappointed in the fact that I think there should be a little bit more. I hope there's more and an update coming soon. I think that perks need reworked. I think that perks need to be changed a little bit. I think that air cubes need to be useful somehow. Maybe the perk stars need to be useful somehow. There's a couple things that need to be changed, reworked, things like that. And what's next for Deep Rock, I'm not really too sure. Where we go from here. I mean, we've got the new primaries, we've got the new secondaries. Do we want to do overclocks now? I don't know. You guys should comment below. What do you guys think they should do for Season 4, and what do you think would really hype you up and be excited for it? And do you think that you should have expected more from Season 3? Do you like what came out with Season 3? I mean, everybody's pleased with a content update, right? I mean, none of us are upset that they came out with new grenades. That's awesome. But, like, did you want more? Do you think you should have got more? I mean, it is a free battle pass after all, and I can't really complain, man. Ghost Ship games have done such a great job with Deep Rock. It's really a game that's a labor of love, I feel. I think that it's a great game. But for a lot of the old graybeards and people who've been around for a long time, I can definitely understand if they're starting to get tired of some of the things in the game, some of the core mechanics. And if you have everything unlocked and you're that kind of completionist person, I mean, you probably already have it unlocked. You know, a battle pass isn't really adding anything aside from cosmetic. And after all, if the cosmetics aren't something that you're interested in, you're kind of SOL. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoy the gameplay. I hope you enjoy the video. Please give it a like or a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe if you're remotely interested in seeing more content from me or you like me at all, because I feel like I'm a pretty nice guy. But yeah, guys, hopefully we can get some more subscribers. Maybe start streaming sooner or later, because that's another thing I want to get into. Maybe on the weekends or maybe when I get off work. My 9 to 5, so to speak, schedule with my job is kind of hectic right now. So I'm sorry for the lack of updates and uploads like I might say that I have in each of my videos, but I do want to say that I'm kind of here to stay as far as YouTube in the near future. I do want to continue making videos for you guys. With that being said, thank you guys, and I hope you have an amazing and awesome day and a great weekend that you had. With that said, peace out.
Getting supply. Roger that. Supplies are coming. Zip right up. Resupply arrived. Go restock.
You guys want to do this first?
Hey! I've got a bad feeling about this. Birds! We got company! Focus fire! It's that damn mule. I need the mule right here, right now.
Action time. A swarm will be upon you shortly.
Back here!
Attention, I need assembly.
All eggs collected. Management will be pleased. Escape pod button is activated.
Lights up.
Drop pod inbound. Stand clear.
Ready to be built.
Swarm! It's a big one, team.
Ready.
Shield up!
Ah! Meet your maker, Crane.
Drop pod arrived. Mule is returning to LZ.
Kill me. Well, think again.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 5 minutes.
Incendiary grenade! Oh, too steep. I got no ammo left. Let's work
The mule has docked. Initiating launch sequence.
Let there be more.
shield up!
One person that's ready.
What the fire? I'm with you, you goblin bastard! Think about it. I'll never get the snow.
Weight is significantly diminished. Well done, team.
Shield charge!
Remind me to turn my back on you.
That's one for the books. Retrieving escape pod.